where we're shifting focus to Karnataka and Telangana. Irony dies, 1,000 deaths in appeasement got a massive lease of life in Telangana when from a Jamaat platform, Telangana's Chief Minister vows an anti-hate speech law. Yes, let the hypocrisy of that sink in. From the stage of a sectarian religious party, not the secular theatre of the state assembly floor, a CM is talking about curbing hate and bringing about law to curb hate. Viewers, the platform that was used by Revanth Reddy is of a grouping that just very recently called, or one of its people, in fact top officials, called viewers for the necessity of putting the Sharia above the constitution in Kerala. Do we need more evidence, viewers, of a chief minister's obvious selectiveness and lack of neutrality when he stands on the platform of such a sectarian organization and talks about bringing in a law to fight hate? This is appeasement, viewers, masquerading as agency, or agency masquerading as appeasement. Please forgive me. But we've seen this script before. Karnataka passed a similar law. It now awaits presidential assent, and experts have already warned vague definitions, expansive powers, the state deciding what you can say, share, or forward. Under the Telangana proposal, like Karnataka's, the state could order digital platforms to take down content it deems hate speech. Today, that power rests with the union government under existing IT frameworks. There are enough laws on the books, viewers, to check hate speech. The question is, why aren't they being implemented? Why do we need an extra layer? Tomorrow, every state government could become its own speech regulator. Who defines hate? Who decides intent? Who draws the line between sharp criticism and criminal speech? The Supreme Court in 2015 was crystal clear. Laws restricting speech must be precise, narrowly tailored, and not so broad that they create a chilling effect. Yet here we are, viewers, from Siddaramaia's playbook in Karnataka to Revanth Reddy's stagecraft in Telangana, the template is absolutely the same. Curbing hate is legitimate, silencing dissent, however, viewers, is not. And when governments begin expanding control over speech in the name of public order, the past demands, we ask one uncomfortable question. Is this reform or the slow rehearsal of an emergency mindset harking back to an old Congress impulse? And while we are asking questions, I have one for the Lutyens ecosystem that lectures on constitutional morality and alleged rising authoritarianism under the Modi regime. Why the silence? Let's open this up, viewers. It's a very important debate tonight. And I want to first begin with Rachna Reddy, spokesperson of the Telangana BJP, Tushar Gupta, journalist, Dr. Ranganathan remains with us, Nikhil Jain and Syed Abbas. Let me first begin with Nikhil Jain, who represents the Congress point of view. What is going on here, sir? You yourself had once said, I'm not talking about you personally because maybe it is something that may have escaped your attention, I don't know. But the Congress party said in the case of two individuals who are today in jail accused of treachery, that their treachery did not incite violence, which is one of the defining terms for incarceration or prosecuting those who have led calls against either the state or have been accused of inciting communal violence, that there should be violence, or propagating hate that could lead to violence. There should be violence. Here, viewers, this law, Mr. Jain, will stop you in your tracks even though there is no violence. This law has already, or a similar law has already been held up by the President of India, law passed by Karnataka's assembly, as infirm legally and guilty of overreach.
See, Rahul, we very clearly know with what motives institutions of the central government function, and everything becomes a
And
constitutional overreach, illegalities, unconstitutional, this or that when it is done by an opposition government, and everything is legal and kosher and constitutional and proper when it is done by a BJP government. So far as the Karnataka hate law is concerned, we have had debates on that in the past before, and the sections of that are not as vague so as to allow for misuse. So far as the Telangana hate speech law is concerned, we don't have a draft in the public domain. It has not been discussed in the assembly. It has not been passed. So let's wait for that. Number two, you make a point about two individuals being, put in jail when their speeches did not cause any violence. First of all, I don't know what individuals you're talking about, but be that as it may, let's take it as a general case that individuals making a speech that could have incited violence but has not incited violence. In
One
that
second,
case,
Mr. Jain, 30 seconds. Two things I want to ask you, quick clarification before I bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Have you heard of a man, of a lawyer, senior lawyer of the Supreme Court called Sanjay Hegde?
absolutely, I have.
Does he belong to the BJP ecosystem?
I believe he is a lawyer who's been standing for social causes against various
Does he
governments.
belong to the BJP ecosystem? Yes or no?
I don't think he does.
Okay. He has come out and red flagged the one that has been formulated in Karnataka. So here we are not reading out of some script prepared by the government in power, the BJP, the RSS, or whatever you like to call them, right? These are people who are students of the law, who are tasked with so-called defending the law, and they themselves have found it problematic. So let's first just
Rahul,
set
that is
one
one
second. Just don't
individual.
stop
That is
shouting.
not
I'll,
judicial
I'll name
determination. I'm
you
not
eight.
shouting.
I'll name you eight, Mr. Jain.
I can
Of
name
the
you 10 people
ecosystem,
from the
of the
BJP ecosystem
ecosystem.
who
No, no,
oppose
one
the
second, Mr.
UGC
Jain, one
regulations
second. Of
or the caste
one
census.
second, that's fine. You can. You can. That's not a problem. That doesn't take away from the fact that there are people who find it problematic.
Of course, that
So
we differing
what
views,
about we
Rahul.
here
That's all
won't help?
right. We are
So
a democratic country.
just 1 second. Secondly, viewers, just think about Dr. Ranganathan, think about the irony. Who are you sitting amongst and talking about laws to defend secularism? I mean, just look at the backdrop, Dr. Ranganathan.
thank you, Rahul. And I'm very happy that my good friend Nikhil is there. But can I just ask him through you a very simple question? Nikhil, yes, you were a friend, but not anymore. I want to strip you and I want to parade you in public. You understand? I'll strip you and I'll parade you in public. You understand?
Dr.
Now I want to ask
Ranganathan,
you.
this show airs at 9,
Now,
not at 11.
now,
I would
now
urge
I
you to
want to
not
ask
tell your
you.
fantasies
No,
on
he was being
television right now.
rhetorical. Rhetorical. Listen to what he said.
Now listen. Did I just indulge in hate speech? Yes or no?
I think you indulged in the very wrong and absurd kind of speech, Dr. Ranganathan. I really don't want to hear that from you. Sorry.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't know whether it
Thank
was
you.
hate speech or not, but I
Now,
don't know what it was.
Yes.
And I really
Thank you.
don't appreciate it.
Crazy.
Rahul, can I please continue?
1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Rahul, I quoted the Chief Minister of Telangana verbatim. This is what he threatened two journalists with.
Journalists.
I'll strip you and I'll parade you in public. And the same guy wants to implement hate speech bill. Look, the Telangana hate speech bill would be the very embodiment of undeclared emergency. It would be a bill of the dictators, by the dictators, for the dictators. Its sole purpose would be to silence, prosecute, throw in jail anyone you don't like the voice of, anyone you don't like the words of. It is primed, Rahul, for selective and subjective application. Revanth Reddy himself has said the bill will mirror the Karnataka hate speech bill that defines hate speech as, quote, any expression made with intention to cause injury, disharmony, enmity, hatred or ill will against person alive or dead, class or group of persons or community on the grounds of religion, race, caste, community, sex, gender, sexual orientation, place of birth, residence, language, disability or tribe. What is left out? Who is left out? I'll tell you who will be left out. Leaders like Akbaruddin, Hari Prasad, D'Souza, Zamir, who have indulged in rampant hate speech and racist bigoted abuse. Not to mention CM Revanth Reddy himself, who, as I said, threatened to strip journalists and parade them in public. Let me illustrate how selectivity would be inbuilt in the bill's application. Polytheists are the worst of creatures. Do not marry the polytheist women unless they convert. Those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire. Do not take disbelievers as friends unless they convert and kill them if they refuse. Now I ask the Telangana government, Did I just promote enmity and hatred against disbelievers and Hindus? Should I not be prosecuted? But these are verbatim verses from the Holy Book, 98:6, 22:21, 456, 489. So I dare you to say, I am promoting hatred. I dare you, Rahul. But then again, this bill is the logical end to its draconian beginning, which is our constitution. The reality is that we don't have a constitution that respects dissent. We have laws and articles that, rather than of the dissenter, protect those who violate his rights. Everything is grey. Everything is subject to something. Everything is primed for offending someone's sensibilities. If I am not in jail right now, Rahul, it is because the state has decided I need not be jailed. The constitution is the real dictator, and it has spawned little dictators who are following it. Modi, Mamta, Yogi, Kejriwal, Stalin, Siddaramaiah, now Revanth. Everyone is stifling speech, and everyone has a ready excuse that we are only following the constitution.
You see, the tragedy is, viewers, that the Washington Post, lovely bastion of liberalism, the Washington Post itself now is floundering under the onslaught of those who have fact-checked it with the brutality that Dr. Ranganathan brings to the table. So, Mr. Abbas, I want to ask you, Tushar Gupta is also there, Mr. Abbas, I'll strip you and parade you in public, was a statement made by Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. Does that qualify as hate speech, number one? And if so, will he be the first to go out and perhaps submit himself to the law? Secondly, I want to ask you, here is a living example of an individual who got relief from the High Court after 3 orderlies of some cyber cell in Karnataka landed up to arrest me, viewers. The court laughed this out of its, dismissed it, laughing, saying, what kind of perversity is this? Because they came to arrest me because I quoted facts from their budget speech and I was accused of promoting hate between religions. So, Abbas, here is a living testament of how state governments abuse their authority, how this law, as you know, has been, in Karnataka, for example, red flagged. And not just by the BJP and all sorts of other people that you think. Even in the Washington Post, I have seen an article, and the BBC, my dear friend, even the BBC has come out and said, and are you telling me that we are going to pass this to do what? To uphold decency?
Rahul Saab, firstly, I've always believed with great power there's great responsibility and equal accountability. Respected sir, I was one of the first few on, I think, Indian television and even stating on my social media when they arrested you on presenting the budgets and so on and so forth. It was absolutely wrong.
Sir, I didn't see you.
And I stand with you.
You might have actually goaded them to take action. But anyhow, that's okay. But I'm very glad, sir. If you did, I'm grateful.
Absolutely
I'm grateful. If you saw the absurdity, I'm grateful. I'm grateful,
absolutely.
Sir. Okay, let's get to the point. Do you believe that Telangana Chief Minister indulged in hate speech when he said, I'll strip you and parade you in public to journalists? Yes, sir. No.
I'll tell you what I believe, sir. Be it a Revanth Reddy, or be it an Amit Shah, or a Modi ji, or any leader like a Himanta Biswa Sarma, across party lines, sir, they must not indulge in such words. They are responsible citizens of this country. They are elected individuals.
So, Mr. Abbas, will you say that Telangana Chief Minister therefore is hypocritical? Yes or no?
I will tell you what I believe, sir. I believe that you and my dear friend Anand Ranganathan, today who's acting like a poor man Zakir Naik, quoting all wrongful things from the Quran.
Oh my God!
Has never read Quran in full context.
Okay, now we fall to invective.
Rahul Saab, this is not fair. My friend Anand gets 3 minutes. I don't even get a minute. Just give me a minute. Firstly, Anand, this is not fair. Anand, my dear friend, please, I request you, sir, to read Quran in the full context. Do you know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says?
Okay, I don't want a theological, sir, please. I beg of you, Mr. Abbas, we are talking about free speech tonight. We are talking about, I'm not getting into a theological debate. You can take that to another channel, another time. Maybe you can do it over Twitter, whatever. There are many ways of doing this. I'm just on a very narrow point. Is this law? And I want to bring in Mr. Gupta. Is this law kosher? Very simple. Yes, no?
Absolutely, stunningly no. Rahul, the problem with such laws is the ambiguity. The Karnataka law, which has been held up at the president's house, The problem is the ambiguity because it never clearly defines what hate speech is. I'll give an example. We have Nikhil Jain on this panel. If he sees an advertisement for a shampoo, can he say it's hate speech and file a case against the advertiser? If you see something that you consider distasteful, can you fight a hate speech case against the advertiser?
What are you trying
My
to
friend
say with the
Sayyid
shampoo?
Abbas is sitting here. If
What are you trying
someone
to say with the
advertises a
shampoo?
light bulb to
Are you
him,
trying to
can he say it
are you
steals
trying
away
to
from a
insult Nikhil
dramatic look?
Jain? Are you trying to
No,
insult
hold
Nikhil
on. I
Jain?
did not interrupt you.
Why are you
I'm
getting onto
explaining
his
the.
thing? That's not fair,
Can you
man.
stop
Why are you
interfering?
getting into
Can you
somebody's
stop interfering?
Okay,
insecurity?
Mr.
Can you stop
Abbas,
What is
let's
interfering?
your
lower his
problem?
fader because,
Listen,
Nikhil
no, this
Jain
is not.
is not jumping out of the screen. So please, Mr. Abbas, thank you
Fight
for
your
your
battle.
advocacy. Yes,
Huh.
thanks.
I'll have to start again. Now, it's like someone selling a light bulb to Sayyid Ali Abbas and he's saying, no, this takes away from my dramatic look on television. I do not want a light bulb in my room. The problem, Rahul, is the ambiguity. This is where
Please,
the
sir, I have to
state
leave here.
and the relationship
Too late.
between the citizen and the state becomes a problem. And that is why we should do away with such laws. Nikhil is an advocate here. He'll tell you how ambiguity in a law hates the person who's a victim of the process. And that is why these laws must be done away with. He wants a law against
Okay.
hate speech.
Thanks.
Can the chief minister himself define hate speech? No, he cannot. So why are we going in loops when it comes to such ambiguous laws which do not define hate speech, which do not define the grounds on which something can be considered hate speech? It's only to target certain people, certain voters, certain electorate.
Okay.
Tomorrow, if I were to say before an election that the Karnataka government under the Congress is not doing a fine job, I'll be fined for hate speech. What will I do then? That takes away from my freedom of speech and expression. Where does this end?
Okay. Rachna Reddy, the question is that you have the authority to end this by coming up with perhaps a legal challenge. Would you be doing that? What's your stance here?
A good evening to everyone. I'm also a lawyer, so I'll take you from the legal perspective. I would be able to absolutely and definitely challenge it once there is actually a draft that has been passed into an act
It's in
and not
Karnataka.
just a bill. The other aspect is that, sir, here, as Mr. Ranganathan has just stated, this is a chief minister who has indulged in absolute hate speech, not just once or twice, but on a regular basis. And this hate speech, this hate speech that he's talking about, he's been abusive in the assembly as recently as a few days back. Absolutely abusive on a regular basis. Words, even though in Telugu I cannot use on a national television. And this is the same man who has, as Mr. Ranganathan has stated that he's going to strip and hit and beat up journalists. And the journalists that Mr. Ranganathan has not spoken about are women journalists.
Okay.
He has raided them and picked them up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he has threatened to
Look, I don't
strip
want to
and
go
beat
into
them up.
specifics.
Coming to hate speech, I'll just come to the absolute aspect. Why does Revanth Reddy need the Jamaat platform to come up with a new act when the laws for the same already exist?
That's the question.
Section 196 of the BNS and Section 299 of the BNS, which were erstwhile 153A
Yeah. We
and
know the laws are there.
295A
The laws are
exist.
there and they're invoked, viewers, mercilessly.
Rahul,
Yes,
Rahul,
very
Rahul,
quickly,
Rahul.
Mr.
Why
Gupta.
do you need
Yeah.
to bring out
Why
new
do you need to
laws
bring?
other
Okay,
than
Mr. Gupta,
for
very quickly.
appeasement?
Yeah.
Other than for
Rahul, let's go
appeasement?
back to the final
Because you
years
claim
of the
yourself to
UPA.
be
Yes.
The
a chief minister only
trinity
for
of the communal
Muslims.
violence bill. Rahul, let's go back to the final years of the UPA,
Yeah.
the trinity of the communal violence bill,
Yeah.
the Waqf amendments, and the minority subquota. The Telangana government under the Congress is already pushing for a hate speech bill which resembles the communal violence bill, and they're already pushing for reservation for Muslims at 4%, which mirrors the minority subquota the UPA was pushing for. And if they come back to power in the center, I'm quite sure they restore the Waqf amendments of 2013 as well. So
Well, that they
Congress
have
in the
said.
states is what Congress is was doing in the center during the UPA years, and that is what
Okay.
the people should remember.
So, viewers, I'll leave it at this partisan debate that we've just heard. But the logical question that everyone must ask, we have too many laws,
Yes.
but too few people blessed with intent to implement them. That's the fundamental problem here. I leave it at this, viewers. The motivations, of course, are plain to see. Let's go across now to another important issue.